What's up everybody? I'm Matt. I'm an artist and designer from New York City and I paint really small stuff. Today, I'm going to show you how I paint a 3x3 inch version of Frank Ocean's Nostalgia Ultra. Remember to like, share, and subscribe if you want more of this stuff, and follow me on all social media at Acrylic. Now without further ado, let's get into it. So the car is obviously the focal point of the painting, so I'm going to go ahead and block that in with some orange, sort of the mid-tone I'm going to use for the car, just so I establish the focal point of the piece. Next, I'm going to take some green and I'm just going to go over where all the grass and the shrubbery in the back is going to go. It's not going to be exact, but I do throw in some black here to almost tell myself later that this is going to be the darkest part, and I'm just going to keep adding layers of green onto it to establish some dimension and kind of carve out the grass, so to speak. And here I'm just adding another coat of orange to make it a little bit more solid. And now that the green on the bottom is a little bit more dried, I'm going to mix in some brown and some more olive green to sort of get a more dirt texture. I'm going to take the black and I'm going to not only refine the edges of the car into the darkness, but also, because I'm already using black, just throw in the tires and the windshield and the windows. I'm going to start measuring in the grille as well, and the darker parts of the front of the car. Now I'm going to take some yellow and I'm going to start filling in the highlights on the hood of the car. I'm using yellow just so I can keep a nice base for the highlights, so that I can pile on some more yellow or lighter yellow or white later on to really make those highlights pop. For the headlights, I'm not using a pure white. I'm making it a little bit dirty so I can get the reflective nature of it, and so I don't have to go in later on and mess around with too much of the detail in there. For the hubcaps, I'm using several coats of white washes just so I can control the opacity. Now I'm going to tackle the shadows of the car with a dark orange, or as normal people call it, brown. And then I'm going to shore up the midtones with a rich sort of scarlet color to make it more of a seamless blend to the shadows. I'm going to take the colors I use for the midtone shadows and highlights, and I'm going to use them interchangeably to refine the details on the body of the car. For the reflections on the windshield of the car, I'm going to use white washes again to control the opacity and brightness. Acrylic paint dries fast and dries dark, so I'm going to go back over with some bright yellow highlights again and sort of refine the rest of the light and shadows on the car, as well as blend the back of the car into the darkness of the forest with a black wash. I'm also going to add a few more grass highlight layers and some dirt so that I have those for later to dry so I can build upon them. And then I'm going to go to the car and touch up a few more highlights, some shine, etc. So the ivy in the background is coming out of the darkness, so I'm not going to give it too much detail. I'm just going to dab it in with different hues of green. And honestly, I'm going to do the same thing with the grass too. I've built up all these green and brown layers for dirt and grass that there's no need to pay attention to individual blades of grass, obviously. I'm not going for detail here, I'm going for texture. And I'm going to go back to the car here to really breathe life into it with these really bright yellow highlights. Now even more of the grass technique I was doing before, just to get that texture, and I'm going to smudge it and smear it to blend it in to the canvas. For the lettering, I'm going to start in the middle and work my way outward. This is just something I personally do. It helps me measure and space out my lettering when I'm doing titles. And keep in mind the contrast between the very thick Cooperish font of Nostalgia and the very thin, condensed Ultra font. Something that I'll do when I'm painting block or slab or bold characters in a typeface is I'll usually paint the main color and then carve out the shapes with a background color. And now I'm just going to add patches of shadow to the grass texture on the bottom. And finally, I'll put the parental advisory sticker. I like to keep it loose to still give it a very painterly looking style. Again, I'm not going for perfection or hyperrealism on this. And there you go, Frank Ocean's Nostalgia Ultra on 3x3-inch canvas panel. So thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and let me know in the comments what else you'd like to see me paint. Thanks, y'all. Peace.